Hello, this is a deck profile on the reversal quiz deck. It's pretty old. This deck has been around for a while, but I want to do a deck profile on it right now. So let's begin. So 40. This deck is 40 cards as always, and it has 4 monsters, two trap cards, and the rest are all spells. So let's begin with the monster lineup. We have 2 card Ds. This card is basically a Pot of Greed, and it lets you cycle through your deck. But the downside is you can't activate anything you draw, which kind of sucks. But I mean, it's a free +1, so I mean, you have to run this in any kind of stall deck, unless it requires you to not have any monsters. But I don't know if this will ever lose me games. Reversal Quiz is, I mean, either I rig my deck, or with the, I don't know what that card is called, but there's a card that lets you rig your deck, or look at the top card of your deck. So that's, either I get that, or I have to kind of be lucky. But I think I run majority of my cards are spells, so. Next 2 cards. Swift Scarecrow. This card is a free battle fader, but you don't summon anything. Swift Scarecrow is a hand trap, so it's better than running Thunder of Ruler or Threatening Roar. But Swift Scarecrow is good because your opponent really doesn't have any outs. Like, they can't counter it unless they have like Cyber Infinity Dragon. So 4 monsters, 2 traps. I don't think there's a chance that, I'm gonna lose because I get these cards. So that's for the monster lineup. The reversal quiz engine. I don't think it's an engine, but the main cards is the reversal quiz, and triple reversal quiz, and then triple Fuma Shuriken. An alternative would be Black Pendant, and then hit 3 Hidden Armory. So the goal of the deck is to get your life points near 1,400, like around or enough, depending on how many the equipped spell cards that I just showed you, Black Pendant and Fuma Shuriken. Depends on how low your life points is. Fuma Shuriken is definitely the better one. So what you would do is you set the Fuma Shuriken and Black Pendant, and then you activate Reversal Quiz, call spell, and then send everything to the graveyard, and then switch your life points, and then you chain from the graveyard Fuma Shuriken or Black Pendant, and then you would just inflict damage per game, because if your life points was low enough from the beginning. So that's the equip card lineup and the reversal quiz. So that's how you win the game. Those are the win conditions. Onto the draw power lineup, I would say you would have 3 Shard of Greeds. This is a +1 after 1 turn, so it might be a dead draw when you really need a top deck, but it's really good to start off with this. It'll help you later on. Triple Upstart, it's a free draw, and giving your opponent's life points is actually good, because when you reversal quiz, if you don't have enough to kill, you can just reversal quiz, and then it'll stall you for at least 2 turns, unless your opponent's running like Cosmo or something. 3 Paw of Duality, it's, obvious why you would run this card. It makes your deck a 37 card deck. You don't special summon at all. And then 1 Day of Peace, which is mandatory in every stall deck, and a Gold Sarcophagus. So that's Gold Sarcophagus is just if you need, like, for example, you have a reversal quiz in hand, you can just use this to get, okay, I probably phrased that wrong. Just as long as you have this, you can just search for the key cards, and then you just win the game with that. There you go. Let's go ahead onto the stall lineup. Triple Messenger of Peace. This card is absolutely mandatory. Not only does it kill you on its own, slowly though, it also makes sure that your life points get chips. It's either chipped slowly, or you're getting, or they can't attack or do anything about it. Next up, we have Triple Swords of Revealing Light. This card's just a stall card. Stall 3 turns. It's weak. The following stall cards are incredibly weak to MST, so you have to kind of like watch out. Triple Swords of Burning Light. This card is useless turn 1. It's becomes useless over time, so I really don't think this card's viable, but hell, like, I think this deck, I mean, this card could be replaced by, like, either, like, one Scapegoat, or, I mean, this card's less than optimal, and it's lost me many games by being a dead card in the hand, or just dying way too often. But if your opponent has, say, one card because they overcommitted to the field, you can just activate this card to start you 4 turns, unless they draw MST. So, the next, so that's the stall lineup. Let's get that out of the way. And then, just 2 Dark Hole after, and that's the end for the spells. Dark Hole is just, you know, if your opponent does have a big board, you kind of want a Dark Hole. I would save Dark Hole until you absolutely have no more, like, outs to getting monsters on the field. I mean, stopping attacks. Then you would just use Dark Hole. Or if they have a key card on the field, that would help them get to something that could potentially stop you. Although it might be too late, you can Dark Hole. Just remember that. On to the next 2 cards, which are my only trap cards. It's Hope for Escape and Wall of Revealing Light. Hope for Escape, when you're low enough life points and you are looking for just gaming your opponent, if, for example, if you're at 3,000, activate Hope for Escape, draw upwards of around 3 cards or more. If you use 2 upstart, if you use if you use two upstart goblins, you get 4 cards. But Hope for Escape, you essentially draw 3 cards if you're at 3,000 or less. But otherwise, it's a +1 or +2. And then it is a really good stall card. That's all. Well, I mean, this is not a good stall card, but well, it's good to run in stall decks because it gives you like draw power, and this card will win you games. Absolutely. I'm not running 3 because it might mess up with the reversal quiz ratio. But Hope for Escape and Wall of Revealing Light. This card is basically it speeds up your combo to like if you have cards that can win you a game right now, then just use Wall of Revealing Light, pay until you have 100 life points left, and if you have 2 of any equip card and reversal quiz, then you can just game them. So this card is crucial, and I'm sad that it's only at 1. But if it was at 3, this card would be broken. Anyways, onto the side deck. This side deck is purely, like, I don't run the side deck, because most of the time this deck is just, I mean, you don't even need an opponent. It doesn't really depend on your opponent, but in only some scenarios, if I've ever gone against, like, a special deck that has, you know, anti-spell fragrance, then yes, I will have to use my side deck, because I can't let my opponent do that. So anti-spell fragrance will destroy you, and so would, what's that card called? What is it? Anti-spell fragrance. I mean, no, the the thing that pops up face-up spell card. So let's begin. Triple Mystical Space Typhoon. This is, I mean, I would honestly, if your deck didn't have Mystical Space Typhoon, you have to run 3 in the side deck, or else you will lose games. If you're ever like planning on playing multiple decks, this is like probably your best bet. And against a trap heavy deck, I would always run Night Beam because it ensures that your opponent doesn't have like an out to your cards. For example, if I'm against Black Wings and they have Icarus attack, I have to run this card. I don't know if this applies to any other decks, like maybe the Artifact card. The Artifact, I think I have that card. Artifact Ignition, which would, pop a spell card and kind of disrupt your plays. Then you kind of have to run this card to run Night Beam, so they can't chain it. Otherwise, Night Beam is pretty much useless. I don't recommend it. That's why I only have 2 of them. Next, we have 1 Swift Scarecrow. I mean, once again, I'm scared of running triple Scarecrow. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but technically, it would increase my chances of losing when I really need to win. And if I ever do lose to decked out, or not decked out, if I ever lose to having my top card being a monster trap, I would just cry, because I mean, getting your life points that low in the first place is incredibly hard. This is why this OTK takes so much skill. Actually, it doesn't, but this deck takes so much luck, I would say. So I would hate to get destroyed by that. And that's why the following cards are my extra deck, instead of my main deck, and you'll see why. So triple Threatening Roar against the incredibly OTK. In case your opponent has like OTK, like this deck lacks stall cards. In fact, I only have 3 stall cards in the deck. That means that if I ever am against, someone who relies like OTKs basically, or if they have like an out to Messenger of Peace or any of that, I have to run, more stall cards, like triple Threatening Roar, triple Swift Circle, and even though it'll increase my chances of losing by Reversal Quiz, it's actually worth it, because I'd rather lose by Reversal Quiz than lose by getting killed, because this deck is a stall deck and it would be really shameful. Triple Scrap Iron Scarecrow. This is a reusable stall card. It is, I mean, Scrap Iron, for example, if you have Scrap Iron and a Messenger of Peace, if your opponent runs, or let's say your opponents are Black Wings and maybe the only card they have is Gale or Kalut, they only run 5 of that card. If you have if you have 2 of these up, it's a very low chance that they're gonna have 2 Kaluts on the field or 2 Gales. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, you have a higher chance. Like normally in a Blackwing game, you probably see like maybe 3 of either Kalut or Gale, or 2. So this would just basically save your life many times. Otherwise, it's not very useful. If I do run the weird trap lineup, what you can do is Ceremonial Bell, which reveals, or it flips your decks upside down. So essentially what happens is you basically rig your deck, and then at this point you just use Reversal Quiz, and then you call the right card, and then you win. But this card is very situational, and I only run 1 of it, so it's going to be a low chance of me getting it. If I do get it, I mean, it's a free win. This deck is the deck with more traps, is definitely more consistent as well. So I think I really trust Ceremonial Bell. In fact, I would run this over the current one, but the current one is just, it's the like saying my deck runs 30. Running my deck runs 35 spell cards. That's, it stands out. It says, but otherwise I would run this card and then I would run all the trap cards. Next up we have Perform Mage Trick Clown. This card is I want to say floater, but it's not. It's a 1-card floater at the cost of 1,000 life points. So you basically put this guy in defense mode or attack mode. Say your opponent has, or you have Messenger of Peace. You can summon this guy in attack mode, and there's no way he would die, unless they have Black Wings and they have Kalut, right? The Kalut or Gale, and then they use Kalut to attack over your Perform Mage Trick Clown. Alright, that's fine, but after he's killed, you summon him again. At that rate, you can just pray they don't get over it again, or it's a free card that stays on your field for a long time. I mean, even if they do pop your Messenger of Peace or Swords of Revealing Light, this card would basically stop you from getting killed because it'll stop at least 2 attacks. And he kind of revives himself every single turn. So the next card is a really weird card. You see this card against, actually, you see this card against a lot of decks, like, Karakuri. You would kill a Karakuri deck with this. It's chain energy. Every time someone wants to summon a card, set a card, or activate a card, they would have to pay 500 life points. So that's incredible. Yeah, so, I mean, this would kill Synchro, basically. So, chain energy. This card, I mean, it also helps you kill yourself in the making. So, I guess this card is really good, but you kind of have to watch out because you also activate a lot of cards. So, it's risky. Plus, you also have the chance of lowering your opponents down to the point where you can potentially kill them with Black Pendant and Fuma Shuriken, but it's a low chance. Okay, next I have Chain Dispel, which is a good card, or it's actually a crappy card against people who have anti-spell fragrance, or if they have Icarus Attack, some card that just stops you from winning the game. And especially if it's a spell card or a trap card, you can just, as long as you get over it once, you won't get destroyed again, is the point of this deck. So, Chain Dispel, I'll only run one of it. It's useless. If you think about it, it's useless, but I would run it. Enough useless talking. This is all, not scripted. I don't think anybody scripts their videos, so let's get on with the cards I want to give a shout out to. Magical Spring. You could play this against Black Wings, or let's see. You can play this card against Fire Fists. I plan on siding this in, but it was in my side deck at the time. But I was like, I have this card, and I was like, I have to run this card in my side deck next time, right? Next time I ever duel that person, because it would be basically cheating. It's a Pot of Greed, +3. What it does is, for each spell, you draw cards equal to the number of spell or trap cards your opponents control that are face up. So this is very situational. But then you would discard a number of cards equal to the amount of spell trap cards you control. Which, if you don't, this card is broken, right? It's a free Pot of Greed. What can I say? It doesn't matter that they can't be destroyed. So, since the cards are essentially useless. So, Magical Spring. I would say this in, but the thing is, my deck does have face-up spoil trap cards, so I mean very situational. But if I did ever play against a Firefist deck, I would run this card. So that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is